All right, folks, we're back. It's Tuesday. Oh, it's Tuesday. Dusty's in the house. Lonzo's in the studio. It's about to go down, folks. It's about to go down. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. From the West Coast to the East Coast and everything between, folks. From Eve after dark to concerts in the park. You're live with your boy Lonzo, the Godfather of West Coast hip hop. We do it like this every Tuesday, being the Dusty One. It's going down. It's going down. It's going down. Yeah. In fact, I got Dusty on the screen. I ain't going to pull him out the dugout. There he is right there, folks.
Yeah. What up, Lon?
Hanging out, Doc. What's happening with you?
Man, can't complain, dude. Can't complain. How'd the prostate walk go this past weekend?
Man, the prostate cancer walk was fantastic. Thank you for everybody for donating. Thank you for donating. We had a great turnout. We left the prostate cancer walk, walked over to the KGLH Men's Empowerment event, and on a panel for men's health. And it was a great day, man. Got a picture with Stevie Wonder. It was good, dude. I can't complain about nothing, man.
That's what's up. You was on TV last week, also a few days ago, right?
Last Wednesday, doing my thing, folks. We have a great relationship with Channel 11. Marla Tellez is been with us since day one. She's been a sweetheart. Usually we do something with Kate on Zoom. But this year, they invited me in the studio. I had to put on my sport jacket and my hat and go in there and represent for up close and personal, Doc.
Yeah, love that, man. Love that. Well, a lot to talk about, man. Let's jump right into it, dude. Let's see. First story I would love to chat with you about. Let's see. Popular YouTuber, FYBJ Maine. He's a former gangster, probably considered himself a current gangster rapper, blah, 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 from Chicago. He's been making big moves as of late. His YouTube streams are going crazy. He single-handedly, in my opinion, brought No Jumper back from the ashes after their first group of hosts left the channel. He was, by all accounts, next up in this YouTube game, Lonzo. He was just arrested last night with guns and drugs in his car. A little bit more to the story before I get your opinion. He's driving around with a broken taillight, smoking weed in his car while he's driving around with weapons and drugs in his vehicle. If this ain't no niggaverse shit, I don't know what is. There's no one he can blame but himself on this, right, Lonzo?
Man, you know what? This is what happens when you get success too fast. You forget about reality. You go into your own little bubble. You think you can do whatever you want to whenever you want to. And maybe he may think he got the money to get himself out of it, but you still got a headache. Guns and drugs is a headache. You gave the police just cause to pull you over with the taillight. The search, the weed, gives them the smell of the weed, gives them the right to search. Make sure you are not intoxicated while you're driving. So you put handcuffs on yourself, man. You put handcuffs on yourself. And what can I tell you, man? And this is something I wish more people would take time to learn to live and learn by other people's mistakes. Okay? Other people's mistakes are the best lessons in the world. Okay? You watch somebody fall on a regular basis, then you do the same dumb shit, only you're going to do it with the left leg as opposed to the right leg. It's the same shit. Trust me. Hey, man, what can I tell you, Doc? Guns, if they're not his guns, he got a headache. I don't care where you are. If they're not your guns, you got a headache. Okay? You got a headache.
Yep.
Go ahead. Go for it, Doc.
Yep. And my guess is they're not his guns. I'm just going to throw that out there. That's just my guess. But, I was granted the opportunity to get my CCW. I carry responsibly when I do carry outside of my house. Really? Yes, sir. When
did you get it?
About less than a year ago, this time last year. And it was just something that I had connections, and we're in a time now where I just feel like I sometime may need to, protect myself or my family. And I would never do anything with I would never be smoking weed when I have my gun on me. I would never be driving around with drugs in my car. Like, when you're given an opportunity like that, especially in California, you can't be doing stupid shit. And these kids, you said it yourself, Lonzo, they don't know how to win, bro.
They don't know how to win. Dude, when you're winning, go ahead and win, man. Take the W with pride. Don't test how far you can go to the line without getting caught. That don't make no sense, man. You work too hard to get where you are, and you want to go to the line and just test to see how far you can go before you go over the edge. That's stupid.
Yeah. And you said it yourself, learning from other people's mistakes, man, of other people who didn't know how to win. We talked about the Suge Knights of the past and all these other rappers who are just making money and overnight sensations almost, and they're at the top of their game, and then something dumb like this happens. How you gonna be driving around with a busted taillight when you know you got all that stuff in your car?
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Yeah, man. It's crazy, dude. Shout out to the chat room. Please post any questions you have for the Godfather of West Coast Hip Hop. I'll make sure I copy and paste them, and we'll get to them later. But let's keep it pushing, Lonzo. Something that I just saw in the news just before the show that bothered me a little bit. New England Patriots fan was killed this past weekend when a Miami Dolphins fan punched him. Let me give you the story. Are you familiar?
I've heard about it. Didn't get into the details.
Let's break it down. Yeah. So witnesses say the two got into an altercation. A few people were trying to pull both of them apart. When they were pulled apart, the Miami Dolphin fan punched the guy in the face. The guy falls to the ground, never wakes up. Father of two. Now the man who punched him, I'm assuming, will most likely go to jail for a very long time over a fucking football game, dude. Over a football game. Talk to these kids out there. Let them know when you decide to punch somebody that can lead to them falling on the ground, busting their shit open, dude. And now you have bigger problems.
You know, everybody wants to be a badass till you accidentally kill somebody. Okay, ain't no such thing as accidental death in California. When you hit somebody and they die, you just got a manslaughter beef. He got to be whooping your ass real good to get self-defense. He got to be whooping your ass real good. If you're fighting somebody and they die, you have a manslaughter case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yep.
If they fall, slip, if they fall and slip on oil due to your actions, you got a manslaughter beef. Okay? I remember one time, man, my son actually may have saved my life. I was going to do somebody really pissed me off, and I was about to go to his store and whoop his ass. I'm tired. It's been a long time. And my son was about 3 years old. And at that time in his life, everywhere I went, he wanted to go. Everywhere I went. And I would take him most of the time. And when he couldn't go, he'd have a fit. This is one of them times. I'm in the studio. He came back there, saw me putting on my shoes. I'm pissed off. Daddy, where you going? I got to make him run, man. Can I go with you? No, man. I want to go. Daddy, let me go. No, man. He started crying, and it gave me enough of a pause to stop and say, you know what? This dude has a bad heart. If I go kick his ass, he dies. Okay? I just got myself a manslaughter beef, and I left it. I leave it alone, man. Yeah. I cussed him. I called him up and cussed him out, but I didn't put hands on him. Okay? Mm-hmm. And he eventually died from a heart attack. Okay, that's how bad his heart was. He eventually died from a heart attack, and that's a true story, man. So when you think about shit you're gonna do to somebody, be prepared for the consequences. Because it don't take, you go to court looking stupid. Oh, I didn't mean to hit him. I didn't mean to push him. Dude, it's that ain't how it go, man. That's not how it go. Oh, he called me a bitch, and I hit him. Okay, you just got yourself a case. But he died. He died because he called you a bitch. You hit him, and then he died. You're going to jail to be somebody else's bitch. Okay, That's real talk. It don't get no realer than that. Okay.
Yeah,
and
that's fact.
Dude, I learned at the club. I used to have a bad habit of getting between fights. I stopped doing that shit. I stopped doing that, dude. I stopped doing it. It was a situation that got real bad, got crazy one night, and somebody grabbed my chain, was about to snatch it. Okay. And I don't do that. Don't do that. And whoa. Don't do that. Because now if you do that, I gotta kick your ass. Okay. Because I caught you before you snatched it off my neck. If you're trying to run with my chain, I'm gonna kick your ass. And I realized, damn. And it was a little. The person wasn't that big. In fact, it was a girl. It was a lesbian girl who thought was playing tough. I said, I can't win this fight. I cannot win this fight. If I knock this heifer out, oh man, you beat up a girl. If I let her take my chain, you let a girl take your chain. I can't win this fight. Look, let go of my goddamn chain. Call somebody so we can square up or whatever, but let go of my goddamn chain. And finally, after about 5 minutes of talking, my female guard got her to let go of my chain. And she threatened me, oh, man, I'm gonna call my brother, call my uncle, call them. We can square up, but me and you can't do nothing. So you got to understand, man, some fights you just can't win. And especially if somebody dies, you're not going to win. You're just going to spend a bunch of money on a lawyer to hopefully get you less time, because maybe it was an accident, but you're still going to jail. You still got an accident losing everything you got. You still got an accident losing everything you got.
And the messed up part is the average guy doesn't have money for a lawyer, so you'll probably get one of them whack-ass public defenders
public pretenders.
Public pretender. There you go.
Public pretenders. Now, all that fighting you see in court on TV, on Law and Order, they don't do that. They don't do that. That's TV. That's some TV cap. That's bullshit. All right, Mr. Williams, you killed somebody. You looked at 15 years. We can probably give you 12. Huh? Well, you killed somebody. Somebody died. Well, man, it was accident. No, well, you died. He died, and they're going to give you some code shit, some new code that a law that just was implemented just right before you killed this person. And now it's justification. Well, if you had a gun, you've been drinking. It's manslaughter, or don't. And I tell my son, my daughters, do not do anything behind the wheel of a car drinking, man. That's vehicular manslaughter, mandatory. Do not pass go. You're going to jail. I won't do nothing, man. If I've been drinking, I'm gonna sit there till I sober up. I'm not gonna do it.
I'll spend $150 on an Uber.
I'll call the Uber, come get my car tomorrow.
Telling you, man.
I'll call
do that often.
I'll call the Uber and come get my car in the morning. Okay? Nope, not gonna do it. It ain't worth the ride, dude. So before we get off this right here, I tell people all the time, what we're about to fight over is not worth my lawyer or my doctor being involved. Both of those professionals are very expensive. Your lawyer, if I whoop your ass, I got to call my lawyer. If I whoop your ass, or if you whoop my ass, I got to call my doctor. Both of them are very expensive. So whatever we arguing about, you calling me a bitch, bald head son of a bitch, whatever the case may be, it ain't worth those two people getting involved in my life right now. So learn to walk away.
Facts, dude. OG Steve, that's a great question. I'm going to get to that because that's something I wanted Lonzo's opinion on. So just sit tight. I promise you that's going to be our next story. But I want to dig a little bit deeper into this football game thing, Lonzo. There were actually several fights at various football games this past weekend. But this is the unfortunate one that led to someone dying. Do you think this has always been happening, or is it we just have social media now, so we're seeing it more? Are people more angry now than they've ever been? What do you think?
Everybody, in my opinion, wants to be a badass. Being a badass is the hottest thing going, okay? And most of the time, you get caught on camera, you go viral for a minute, nobody dies, nobody go to jail, but you can get the clown for a minute. And with all these cameras, and everybody's mama got a camera, everybody's quick to post that shit. That's probably one of the main reasons why we see so much shit. I know they've been fighting at Raider games for decades. But nobody had a camera. Nobody had a camera to really film it. So with everybody having high profile cameras with 4K, and as soon as you post it, it goes viral. Dude, people have all the incentive in the world to videotape it and put it out there. So that being the case, I think it's been going on for a while. It's probably increased a lot more over the years because of the violence, and some people have a yearning to go viral, man, and whatever the expense may be. Anybody that would rob something and put the money and I got him today, woo woo woo, man, they just want to be seen.
And I got to say this, Lonzo, because we always get the brunt of BS, but 90% of the videos I saw of the fights, because I watched the whole compilation of fights all over the country, white people. I'm just throwing it out there. And I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but I'm just throwing it out there. White folks love their football, I guess. Right. But I have a theory, Lonzo. We're in the participation trophy generation. We talked about this before. Everyone gets a trophy just for showing up. Whether you win, you lose, you get a trophy. Whether you're the MVP or the fourth string punter, you get a trophy. I don't think this generation knows how to act when they lose because they're so used to getting a trophy just for standing on the sidelines. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
That this
does.
generation doesn't know how to act when they
Yes.
lose?
Losing teaches you character, man. Losing teaches you character. Okay? Losing helps you realize that life ain't always going to go your way. And if you've been dude, I mean, you got kids never been spanked before. You got kids never been spoken hard to before. You got kids that never heard the phrase, wait till your daddy, I'm gonna tell your daddy your dad, I'm telling your daddy as soon as he gets the door. Okay? They've never been trained to respect or fear anything. They go to school, they do what the fuck they want to, talk to teachers any way they want to, and in some cases, the mama comes straight up there and back them up, right or wrong. Okay? I was listening to a thing of the day on I was listening to it was like a spoof on YouTube about a woman with kids. I want a 6-figure man, 6 foot tall. I got kids. He got to understand that me and my kids are responsibility. He got to understand that my kid's father is in their lives, and he can't discipline my children. Well, but they're his responsibility. I told my old lady, anything I got to feed, I got to beat. If I have to step out, if I have to put hands on him, I will. And I let his dad know, if I feed him and house him, if he step out of line, I'm gonna whoop his ass based on my principles. And if you want to handle him again, that's fine too. But I'm not gonna forego my responsibility in my house so that you come over my house and that don't make no sense. So when you don't have people who've had people that really care about it, because understand this, man, disciplining a child is a form of love. Okay, whether the psychologist says it's not as cruel, no, it's not cruel. If you beat somebody within an inch of their life, yes, that's cruel. But if you hit them on the ass a few times, let them know, hey, look, this is what happened. You did something wrong. That's stupid. That's perfectly fine. The Bible says, spare the rod to spoil the child. And I'm so tired of people grabbing and picking certain parts of the Bible to apply to what they want to apply to. Go for it.
I heard a kid tell a parent recently, you hurt my feelings. When the kid was acting up, acting an ass, Lonzo. Parent didn't do anything. What's wrong? You hurt my feelings. When I was 6 years old, I don't even think I have feelings, man.
You didn't have options. You didn't have options to have feelings, man. Do you realize where we are right now, man? Kids have the right to be whatever they want to be without the parents' influence whatsoever. I saw a clip of T.K. Kirkland was saying, Venus and Serena was told what to do. Tiger Woods was told what to do. Michael Jackson was told what to do. Okay? When people are told, that's the whole purpose for parents, is to guide you through the pitfalls of life. If you give birth to something and let it grow wild, that's like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You're doing that kid that child an injustice by not giving them any kind of input. Come on, man. That means you don't care. That means you might as well be an absentee parent. If you got a kid in your house that you're not trying to guide in some way, form, or fashion. Me and my youngest son, I had to check in. Hey, man, you got to get up and go to school like you're supposed. Or Pops, it's on class on Tuesday and not on Wednesday. So Wednesday, not on Tuesday. All right, because your schedule last time I checked was on Tuesday. They moved it to Wednesday. Okay, today I had to get on them because my trash day is Monday morning, but my trash cans don't get up until Tuesday. Everybody else trash cans is up. Dude, this is a small thing, but it's a sense of responsibility. Don't leave my house again going to work on Monday morning and my garbage cans are still down come Tuesday. It's going to be a problem. Okay? They ain't but 2 of them. They ain't got to go that far, but I'm not bringing them up. I pay the house note, the light bill, everything. I'm not putting them out. I'm not bringing them back up. That's one of the jobs you got, and you better do it correct. That's just teaching people responsibility, man.
That's it. You just reminded me of one of my favorite movies, a quote from Boys in the Hood, when Furious was talking to his young son, Trey, and he was telling Trey, hey, you got to take the trash out. You got to do the dishes. You got to clean the bathtub. And then the little kid looks up at him. He says, what do you do? Basically, and he's like, I don't have to do anything but pay the bills, put food on your table, and put clothes on your back. I mean, those are the old school things that I don't see it anymore, man. I don't know, dude. Last of a dying breed, Lonzo.
A lot of parents want to be kids' friends, man. This is why we have such a crazy situation right now. A lot of people want to hang out with their kids and be cool with their kids. Sometimes
I see people smoking blunts with their kids. I would never smoke. I'm sorry. I'm just not doing it.
I ain't doing it, dude. We was talking about that today, man.
I'm not doing it.
It took me a minute to have a drink with my daughter, man. She was damn near 30 years old if I had a drink with her. Okay. You know, and you know, but I'm at her house, so she can drink at her house. Okay. I'm at her house and she has some wine. Daddy want a glass of wine? Sure. And I dawned on me, oh shit, she is 20, she is 40. Okay. My baby girl, she's 22. And she ordered some wine with her mom. Oh, damn, she is old enough to have it, I guess. But to me, it just seems like smoking a blunt with your kid is just a little bit different. I don't know. The wine thing is one thing, but smoking a blunt with your kid is one thing. It's another.
I agree.
You know? It just seems different, man. I got on my cousin one time because I caught him smoking with his kids. I'm like, dude, what's wrong with you? Oh, man, it's cool. It's cool. No, it ain't cool, man. Just certain boundaries you got to have with the parent, man. That's all.
I agree, dude. You know, OG Steve brought something up that I wanted your opinion on. Dusty and Lonzo, did y'all see the buffoonery with Nicki Minaj's husband, who is a registered sex offender, posting videos with other men who are 40 plus years old threatening Offset from the Migos outside of the MTV Awards? Did you get a glimpse of that, Lonzo?
I got a glimpse of that, Ignorance. What exactly happened, man?
So there's internal beef between, is it Cardi B and Nicki Minaj? Help me out, OG Steve. Okay. And Cardi B is obviously Offset's husband, so he's entangled in the beef. Long story short, there's been words online, and the VMA, the MTV Awards were just passed. They were both present, and Nicki Minaj's husband, who is definitely a registered sex offender, in my opinion, is a piece of trash. Him and a couple of other dudes in their 40s, Lonzo, my age, were outside of VMAs taunting Offset. Yeah, man, we outside, man. Hi, don't be saying we ain't outside, man. What's up, man? Just nigga-verse shit, Lonzo.
Nigga-verse shit to the first degree. You know, dude, they say you're supposed to be mature at 21, but sometimes folks don't get it till they're 50. And sometimes it skips them all together. Sometimes this hip-hop thing, man, can get people stuck in their childhood. You know, sometimes this hip hop lifestyle, and maybe it could be a thing where you come from, whatever. It just makes you, I want to say, retard your maturity, because you know I know retarded is a negative word, but it seems like some people have retarded their maturity, and you know anything to go viral, man. Because we're talking about it. I'm quite sure TMZ talked about it. I'm quite sure Vlad talked about it, and it's a viral thing. And one thing about going viral, they don't care whether it's positive or negative. You're viral. You're still gonna get the views, and if you get enough views, you're gonna get a check, whether it's positive or negative. It don't make no difference, dude. And it's just amazing how people will put themselves in that kind of position just to try and be relevant.
It's embarrassing. You'll never see Kenny Chesney and his boys, or I don't know, Kenny Rogers and a couple of his dudes standing outside of the Country Music Awards saying, hey, if Randy Travis step outside, we whooping his ass. Like, you're just not going to see stuff like that.
You know, it's a lot of shit you don't see in hip hop. You don't see any place else but hip hop, man. And you know, that's, you know, again, there's not a lot of maturity. Well, there's a lot of people that are in a certain age bracket, 50, 55, maybe even 60. But a lot of them kind of fade away, and there's nobody to lead by example. You know, that's why I do what I do the way I do it. I try to lead by example, man. At 66 years old, I still wear my t-shirts. I still wear my rings, but I'm a grown ass man. I do grown ass man shit. I may do it in a younger fashion, but I still know how to conduct myself in any situation. And there's some things I just ain't gonna do because I am a grown ass man. Simple as that. I'm not gonna do certain shit because I am a grown ass man.
There it is, man. You have dignity, something that I feel like is definitely leaving this young generation. Dignity and shame. We don't shame people anymore.
You know what? They told me, now, before I started my YouTube channel, before I met you, I went to a class on social media and YouTube. And I asked the instructor, I said, hey, man, is it possible to have a YouTube channel and maintain your dignity? He said, yeah, but it won't be that successful. He told me that. He told me that. He said, yeah, but it won't be that successful. And I said, that's cool. I'll do what I got to do. I'm not a sellout, man. I'm not going to sell us out. I'm not going to sell me out just to get some more likes and views. That's the problem. People don't understand the difference between selling out and buying in. Okay? Selling out and buying in. Okay? It is a difference, Doc. So
yep.
that's just something that I'm too old to do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And I think you and I both know what we could do if we wanted to get our channels up to 100,000. We know what to talk about. We know who to instigate. We know what beefs to start. And I see YouTubers who I once respected just doing just weird, corny stuff just to get views and subscribers. We could easily do that, Lonzo, but nah, I'm cool with my 40,000, you know, and then we're going to get your, you know, we're 14,000, 15,000. I'm cool with that.
You know what, dude? What's more important to me is this morning I'm sitting out in Compton at the Starbucks at a meeting this morning. When people walk past me that know me, hey, Lonzo, what's up, man? How you doing, Doc? Have a good day. That's more important than the social media friends. I appreciate all y'all. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate everybody that's subscribed to this channel and everybody that watches this channel. But when guys like OG Steve takes his time to drive up to Sacramento and hang out with me and get a picture at the event. Okay, with Martin, hey man, I can't make it. I would love to be there, but I can't make it. I got to work that day, whatever the case may be. I would rather be that dude than to be somebody that's so popular you don't know who's gonna shoot your ass. You don't know who's gonna you don't know who put a hot one in your ass. Okay, and for me, living without looking over my shoulder is a much better way for me than anything else. If I got to take a slow road, I was always taught a slow nickel be the fast dime any day of the week.
Man, I love that. Love that saying. That's a dope.
A slow nickel be the fast dime any day. I'm too old to be a skyrocket, which means you shoot up and blow out. Nah, dude, I'm a what you call that? One of them worms that take forever, huh?
One of them SpaceX. We one of them ones that go all the way into. Yeah.
All the way into space. Take a little while to get there, but damn it, when I come back down, I'm coming back down strong. So it's a little bit different philosophy, Doc. Different philosophy.
So Tay Swarm, sorry to cut you off. Lonzo may have not gotten the update, but he says, "Bring the club back, big bro, for us."
Club is coming back.
Lonzo's bringing the cut. Lonzo's bringing Eve After Dark back, bro. Just stay tuned for more details. I know you probably missed the show a couple of weeks ago.
I got a call today from the owner's son. We had a meeting, a phone meeting today about the menu and how the layout was going to be. I passed by this morning. They're doing some improvements in the parking lot. We had an issue back in the day. People, because the club sits right next to a gas station, and they have access through the gas station through the parking lot. So the parking lot's kind of divided on two sides. People also, homeless people, whatever the case may be, tend to park behind the club, you know, and camp out. So we're putting up, he's putting up chains around the parking lot and a fence to keep that from happening. So also we'll protect the cars when people come through. So, you know, it's a slow process. It's a different process. Like I said, I'll be there. I'm gonna be there in a not really high management, high consultant position. I like going to bed at 12 o'clock. If I can be home by 12, and I won't be there every night. I don't have to be there every night. And that's the beauty of it. I ain't got to be there every night, okay? If I got something to do, I'm going to do it. I'm not committed. I'm committed, but I'm not committed. And that's the part I love about it.
Yeah, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. If you guys haven't already, please hit that like button. And if this is your first time joining the channel and you like what you hear, please hit that subscribe button. You are tuned into Not Without Alonzo with Alonzo Williams. I am Dusty Vision. Welcome to the show. If you guys have any questions, post them in the chat and I will get to them. Let's talk a little hip hop, Lonzo. I was listening to one of your old interviews and you mentioned a show in Sacramento. Your quote was, "We had to get out of that town fast. Y'all never believe what Yella did." You remember that story?
Yeah, I remember that story.
Okay, break it down. Talk to us. What happened? What the hell did Yella do?
I think we might have been in Stockton though. I think it was in Stockton.
Could have been Stockton,
Uh,
my bad.
I think it might have been Stockton, and we were up. It was us, Russ Parr from the Bobby Jimmy and the Critters, L.A. Dream Team, Arabian Prince, Wrecking Crew. We rented a mobile home and went up to Stockton to do a show, and it was a great show. And we had girls everywhere. Wrecking Crew always attracted women, and after the show, the sheriff came to the show. I mean, to the hotel. Couple cars and shit. Like, what's going on? He looking for his daughter. Okay, he looking for his daughter. I don't know where his daughter is. Okay, but somebody knew where she was, and she was somewhere close to Yellow. Okay, and she was a little slow. Okay, yeah, she's a little slow, but and to avoid any complications, we just grab our shoes, the truck was already packed up, the mobile home was already packed up, and we just left town real quick before sheriff realized that we may have defiled his daughter. One of us may have defiled his daughter. So yeah, it was an interesting situation, Doc.
Damn. Woo. Yeah. Doesn't sound fun, man. Were there any other times where you had to hightail it out of there for any reason? You know, got into a fight with some dudes, or
a couple of times, dude. Man, that scene that you saw in Australia, Compton, we was in Texas, man. Wrecking Crew. This wasn't even draining. This was just me and I had to. It's another long story, but I had some more guys with me this time. Wrecking Crew went on strike on me, and we went to a club and picked up a couple of different girls, man, and they dudes came looking for them. They came looking for them, knocking on doors and shit, and we peeking out the doors like, what the fuck? And finally, man, we didn't have to hightail up. We had to sneak the girls out the fire escape, get their asses out there real quick, Doc. Yeah, they came. They was door to door looking for these girls. Okay, door to door. Yeah, it was a little tight there for a minute. But hey, man, by the time they got to my room, I was clean. Excuse me, I don't know what you're talking about. They had just left.
Did you ever have any haters? Any guy haters, like dudes that wanted to beat you guys' ass just as you were popular? Or
not really. We had a lot of guys would like hang around to get the leftovers because they knew we had the magnetism, and they would try to sometimes they made I'm gonna be here tomorrow. They leaving tonight, but I got to get with them tonight. I ain't got time. I'll see you tomorrow when they leave. And so the situation just kind of played itself out a little bit.
Yeah. Let's see. D Minor wants to know, how important was Virgil Roberts to West Coast culture? Explain to us Virgil Roberts.
Virgil Roberts was the attorney at Solar Records. He was the attorney for Solar Records. I don't know. I met him before. I know him. We've had a couple conversations back in the day. But I think he worked more with Suge and Death Row when they were with Dick Griffey's studio over off of Highland. One thing I can say, Virgil made a comment in a video that was all wrong. And he said, yeah, somebody from Wrecking Crew, they got beat up by Suge. That never happened. Okay? That never happened. It was actually somebody else close to us that got beat up by Suge, but it wasn't nobody from the Wrecking Crew. But yeah, he was important. He played a role because Dick Griffey at one point in time was trying to set up a distribution network just like McCullough. But when I saw his contract, that's something that was thick. Thick in the contract, the motherfucker you about to get. Okay? Oh no, I wouldn't sign it. I see McCullough's contract only was like 2 pages. But his contract wasn't even a contract. It was press and distribution. I would press your records for a 15%, press and distribute your record for 15%, 15% distribution fee plus cost of the records. Okay, so initially it was simple. He press your records up, distribute them, and he'd take 15% and give you the rest of the money. But he never kept his books. Oh man, it was horrible. So when I saw Dick Griffey's contract, he said he was giving you the same thing, but on paper, oh no, it was a shishka by I call it a shishka dick, about this big in there. Oh no, we're not doing that.
Damn. Let's see. Stem Radio wants to know, hey Lonzo, are you familiar with John Thomas from Rainbow Records?
John Thomas, Rainbow Records. I dealt with Steve Sheldon the main man at Rainbow. I'm very familiar with Rainbow Records. Never dealt with anybody else but Steve. John may have been there. Was John the owner? No. Steve, well, I don't. John might have been the owner. I'm not sure. But Steve ran Rainbow. He was the one that gave us the idea of what for West Coast record distributors, gave each label a $25,000 line of credit, no TRW, no credit checks, just a handshake deal. And we pressed our records in Rainbow for quite some time.
Damn. So Rainbow Records, would you say they were like McCullough Records? Is that comparable?
No, because Rainbow, they just manufactured records, okay? But Rainbow had such a good relationship with a company called CRD, California Record Distributors, which was in Burbank, because California Record Distributors would press records for different independent labels and kind of co-sign the label. And that's what they did for us. They co-signed us to make sure that Steve from Rainbow got paid. So anything that was shipped to Rainbow, the payment would come from CRD, and the rest of the money would go to us. Okay, and it was a great situation. You know, it was like it was secured. We had a secured situation. Rainbow would get paid first. All money after that, we got paid. Plus CRD got their money. They had a real good part of it because CRD would pay for the records, sell them, get their money, and give it and pay pretty much 60 days after the record was sold. So it was a sweet deal for everybody.
Okay. You've mentioned Dick Griffey several times on the show. I don't know if we've really ever broke him down. Talk to us about Dick Griffey.
Dick Griffey, man, was a bad brother in his time. Dick Griffey was a concert promoter. He was partnered with Don Cornelius for a while, and he had something to do with Soul Train for a minute. And when Don Cornelius and Dick Griffey connected, a lot of the majors got pissed because why would I send you my hot acts, but you got your own acts like Shalimar and the other one, man, Jody Watley, and my man, damn it, I'm having a brain fart. It was Shalimar, and you know what I'm talking about, folks. Damn it, help me out.
Someone will post it in the comments.
So they had to part their ways, and Dick Griffey stayed with the Solar Sound of Los Angeles Records, Lakeside, Whispers, Shalimar, Jody Watley, come on, man. Sylvia.
I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, Leon Silver's producing. He had a hell of a thing going there. He was the Motown of the West Coast.
Howard Hewitt,
Jody Watley, and Jeffrey Daniels compiled the group named what?
There we go. Okay, that's the question right there. Okay, I got you. Keep going.
Okay. He had the deal. Thank you. Man, come on, y'all. Babyface was
I got
there.
You. Jeffrey Daniels, Jody Watley became the Soul Funk group.
Yeah,
Shalimar. You said that though.
Shalimar. Was it Shalimar? Yeah, it was Shalimar.
It is Shalimar. Yep, Shalimar for sure.
But it was another group they had too. Anyway, it was another group they had too. Anyway, I can't think of it right now. But yeah, Shalimar. Thank you, Isaiah. It was Shalimar. So they had Shalimar, Whispers. Well, Shalimar was, I think, the first group. They signed Lakeside. They had the Whispers. Leon Silvers came in with his funky sound from the Silvers, and it just was a hell of a thing, man. He was kicking ass, and because he was so good in the record industry, he had to separate himself from Don Cornelius because he was also a concert promoter, and they worked hand in hand. A lot of those things they would perform on Soul Train. Go to Total Experience. It just was back then, man. It was just a whole dude. As a 19-year-old kid, people wonder why I have the visions that I have. And I saw it done before. Okay, with like I say, with Dick Griffey, Lonnie Simmons from Total Experience Records, Don Cornelius. All these dudes were the guys that I looked up to. I learned from their existence. Talking about learning from somebody else's mistakes, I also learn from somebody else's experiences. So when you see somebody that has a record label and a nightclub, you see another guy that got a TV show that's breaking every act he wants to, another guy got a recording studio and a record label, and he got a partner that has a TV show, dude, it's you know, this is what I grew up on. So it's real hard to watch all that go down and not learn from it. And that's what this is the era that I grew up in with all the bad brothers that was making money in the industry. That's why I got a TV channel, a record label, publishing company, and a newspaper.
Nightclub. All of the above.
So I do all that. So, you know, and I learned I don't put my ass on the line for all of it, but I'm in partnership with various people that can make it happen. Now I'm in a position to make things happen. So
yeah, man.
Gap Man was Total Experience Records. Yes, I'm responsive to my man's. Gap Man was Total Experience all day.
Oh, okay. Charles Smith has a good question, and I'm going to guess this is a big fat no. Ask Lonzo, is it common for a label to give you contracts and tell you to have your lawyer look over them?
Hell no! Hell no! Hell no! Dude, what they do to you is they call you I want to give you a contract. Okay, fine. And what they do, they play divide and conquer. They play divide and conquer. If you got a manager and he's in the meeting with you, they'll give you a contract with the check on top of it, with your name on it. So there's the check. Who asked that question?
Charles Smith.
Charles Smith. There's a check with Charles Smith on the envelope, and they'll tuck the check. They'll take the check out the envelope, clip it to the envelope with the whole check exposed. So you see your name and the number right there. $100,000, Charles Smith on the contract. Your manager's sitting right there. Well, let me review the contract. Well, I'll tell you what, before you take this check in this contract, if you take time to review it, it's going to take 2 weeks to process, maybe a month. Okay? And if it takes a month, it could be 6 weeks before we get it back. So you might want to just, look at it briefly and sign it right now while we're here. That's the psychological game they played on many of brothers, because now you see that $150,000 or that $100,000 with your name on it, your mind goes shopping. Your mind goes shopping. Back in the day, I'm buying cars, I'm getting a new Jerry curl, getting my beeper turned back on. I'm doing all kinds of shit. And that's real talk, Doc. Well, depending on who you are, I'm gonna give me some drugs, whatever the case may be. So all your logic goes out the window. It's just like when you get drunk and Mr. Johnson stands up. That big girl that you wouldn't touch back in the day looks fine in the motherfucker right about now. Okay. That big chick, that big ugly one that you wouldn't touch, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, you've been drinking, Mr. Johnson has stood up, and your ass is ready to go. Okay. You sober up the next morning, God damn, what did I do? Same thing. Only with a contract, it takes a little bit longer, and you don't realize how bad the deal is until you signed it, and you realize, 4 or 5 years later, you ain't got no more money coming, your beeper's turned off, Jerry curl dry, and they telling you that they don't owe you no more money. Are you doing with platinum, and that's all the money you got because you didn't read the contract and negotiate.
Man, Lonzo, you took me back to my college days when I once banged a girl who looked like the Notorious B.I.G.
See? Oh. We all have done it. We all have done it.
Man. Let's keep it pushing. I was listening to, actually I want to go a little bit deeper into this. And Straight Outta Compton, they had the famous scene where Ice Cube didn't want to sign to Ruthless. All of the guys in N.W.A. got, I think it was either $25,000 or $75,000 checks.
Mm-hmm.
Yella took it, Ren took it. They were all, look, we got a mouths to feed, etc. Cube didn't, do it. And do you know if that's how it went down, that specific situation? And was that common back then for groups to be approached like that?
Yes.
By label heads?
Yes, and yes. I've talked to Yella about that. Okay, I think it was 80 grand. It's hard to turn down 80 grand, man. It's hard to turn down 80 grand, dude. If you broke, just came from the Wrecking Crew, we never had 80 grand. Our biggest record deal was 100,000 divided by 4 after production. 15 grand may have been the most we ever got at one lump sum. Okay, so to give somebody 80 grand by himself, dude, it would be hard to do that, especially if you're having a good time and you're not a business-minded person. Cube has always been a business-minded person, even when he was a youngster. In fact, today, I'm gonna tell you right this day, Cube, I'm talking to you right now. I got a letter today. Cube wants his master or his publishing back from the CIA album. Cube, I don't own it. I don't own it. I sold it to Brian Turner, 1987. Talked to Brian Turner. I got a registered letter today from an attorney that's looking for, that want me to, it's 30 years now. And at some point in time, the masters revert back to the artist. Okay, cool. I sold that shit to Brian Turner, who was a part of Universal back before you dropped your first solo album. I ain't got it. Y'all, whoever sending me letters is juicing you, Doc, because they're not doing their homework. Universal got that shit. I ain't got it. Never claimed it, never made a dime on it, other than the money Brian Turner gave me for the masters in publishing back in the day. True story.
How does something like that work, Lonzo? That's the part of the business that fascinates me. How does it work? You approach Brian Turner. Does he approach you? Talk to us about that whole thing.
When Cube wanted to go solo, he didn't want that record out. This was before the internet. He didn't want that image of him out there. He wanted to have all records that was prior to him going gangster off the streets. Brian called me up. Hey, Lonzo, I understand you got some some songs on Cube. Yes, I do. We can sue you, blah, 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 whatever the case may be. You never gave him an accountant, which I never gave him an accountant. Or we can give you 10 grand and you can sell them to us. And send me the check. I'll bring you the masters in the morning. Simple as that. Dude, I ain't got time for that bullshit. I never made any money on those songs. Never made any money on those songs. That shit came out. They did it, and as soon as it came out in 87, 88, they was gangsters. It didn't do me no good. And then when the internet came out, people started posting it. I don't claim that shit. I don't claim it. I don't claim it. 2 albums I don't claim. That's that one and the first round knockout that we did for XXX. It's not worth the hassle.
XXX. What is that?
XXX was a record label that out of here in LA. I did 2 compilation albums for them. First Round Knockout and Concrete Roots. And we got sued for them by Dre's team. And I don't fuck with them. I don't fuck with them. There's 2. I don't own the masters anyway, but I put together the compilation, and you can get away with shit if you want to. It ain't worth the hassle.
Yeah. Let's see. I was listening to an interview with an old school player, and he said when he saw Dr. Dre mix and scratch that he had never seen anything like that. I know you mentioned Battle Cat was one of the best DJs you've ever come across. You and Dre even touched on it during Legendary Connects, which everybody can check out on Fridays, usually at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. But my question to you, Lonzo, take yourself back to the early 80s when you were DJing and seeing other DJs come up. What made a good DJ?
Man, the first thing I learned in broadcast school, what made a good DJ was keeping the music going. The number one killer, if you want to fail broadcast school, let what they call dead air occur. Dead air means there's nothing going over the airwaves. That means silence. If you want to fail broadcast school or get fired from a radio station, let there be dead air. Okay, get you fired real quick, get you failing real quick. So I learned to keep music going. I learned to talk in between records, even when there was a problem. I was changing records. I could change records while I'm, doing the whole 9 yards. I learned how to do that. I still do it, even on this show. We don't have dead air on this show. There's very, very, very little time. One of us is not talking. We have a slight delay, so you might get a 1 second or 3 second delay between me and you. But because of my training, I'm watching you on my screen. to make sure when you get ready to go on, I shut up. But as time progressed, being a mixer became the hot thing. Being able to blend music and make music syncopate the beats, especially disco, because a lot of your disco records had that heavy kick, and that made it real easy for you to find the kick or the snare gave you something to ride to. And if you could ride a mix and just ride it for a while, that's when 1200 became very popular, because they gave you that micro control that you needed to be able to slow or speed up a record to make them match, syncopate properly without having to, and give you that internal mix that they developed in the disco. And it wasn't until the late 80s when scratching came about. And scratching was supposed to be a transition, but people made it an art form. It was usually just something you got a couple of different transitions. You have a fade, you have a slam, you have a ride, and then you have your scratches. Fade is when you bring the music down real slow, bring another one up. That's old radio shit. Okay. A slam is when you have a record that it has a great point, and you just hit your fader at the right time, and all of a sudden, bam, it goes into another record. But that record is so on time, you don't miss a beat, but you change the record. Then you have the ride, that's when you have to take time and you lock in your beats and you let them overlap for a minute. And people can hear one coming in and hear the other one going out. And then you got the scratch, where you can either do any of those following previous three, that you can that you do the same thing.
There it is. There it is. Who's Lonzo's top 5 rappers of all time?
Man, I always love Tupac. That's probably my number one dude, man. Because Tupac had versatility. I always like Q. Busta Rhymes, because Busta Rhymes was a rapper's rapper, but he understood the music game enough to always give you something to dance to. I like damn it, Big
Andre
Natural.
3000.
I like Andre 3000, but I also like damn it, Ludacris.
Oh yeah.
I like Ludacris. I think Ludacris he's a very articulate rapper. I like his voice, and I like LL. I mean, these guys always been they just bring something different to the game, man. They speak English. Cube, of course, they all spoke English. I like people that I can understand what the fuck they saying. Okay, when somebody can't understand what they're saying, I can't understand what they're saying. You can recite a Cube song. You can recite Andre 3000. You can recite a Cube song. I mean, Tupac song. Everybody's song you can't. Sometimes guys make songs only they can sing, or only somebody with their kind of skill level can sing. I can't sing Eminem song. He's a bad motherfucker, but I can't sing his songs. I'm too tired to do an Eminem song. Okay, and of course, you always got Snoop, but you asked me my top 5, so I'd stop there.
There you go. There you go. Someone wants to know, do you guys look at Tupac as West Coast, even though he was from New York originally? I just look at Tupac as universal, just everywhere, bro. Like, Tupac is everything in hip hop to me. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Tupac was a Gemini. He was just as comfortable on the East Coast as he was on the West Coast. He was just as passionate about saying Dear Mary as he was about California Love. That's just the kind of guy he was. So he got his success from LA. I'm gonna call him. I think he's more of a West Coast.
Even the Bay Area would claim, yeah. The Bay Area.
He bounced around, man. He was, West Coast. He loved it. He started with Digital Underground and moved to Death Row. So come on, dude. He had some great attributes.
Take yourself to the first. Someone mentioned Too Short, which I love. Too Short. He's not the best rapper, but I love what he does, and he's always been one of my favorites to this day. But take yourself back to the 80s when you heard a Too Short come out. What was Lonzo's thoughts when you hear the B.I.B. word every other and suck my D and all that coming? Because Too Short was very raunchy when he first came out.
I thought Too Short was more like a hip hop Dolomite. He always struck me like a hip hop Dolomite. He told stories. Okay. He told stories slow, He told stories where you can repeat them. And Dolomite did shit like that. I mean, he was like a hip hop Dolomite. And if you know Too Short, that's just his persona on stage. He's really a cool dude. I never been no pimp. He tell you nothing. I ain't never been no pimp. You know, I just talk that shit because people like hearing that shit. You know, people forget that most of your rappers are characters.
Exactly.
They are characters that they play a role. They get paid for being Afro Man. They get paid for being Cube. They get paid for being Too Short. These guys go home and do the same shit that you do every damn day. They have to, maybe they may do it in a bigger house, but they still put their pants on one leg at a time. They still got to take a shit every morning. They don't fly. They don't fly. They can't see through shit. They just regular dudes. They got a stage persona that works for them.
Yep. And trip out on this, Lonzo. I don't know if this is true or not, but I've heard enough people say that it is. But Future, the rapper or singer, whatever he does, I don't really care for him, but he makes some decent music, I guess. But he has songs like Molly Percocet and talking about sipping lean and stuff like that. And from what I understand, he doesn't even do any of that, Lonzo.
Right.
Whenever he's holding a white cup in his hand, it's not lean. So he has this whole generation fooled into doing Molly Percocets and sipping lean, but he don't even do that shit.
When I listened to 50 Cent, his audio book, he talked about how he had the champagne deal. He don't even drink. He don't even drink. If you think I'm lying, listen to his audio book. He has a champagne deal, and when he go to a club, they put sparkling water or something else in the damn bottle, and he puts it in a champagne glass. He don't drink. And so people have to understand, man, you're living in a capitalistic society where people will sell you an image to get that check. Okay? You have to live for yourself. You can't be influenced by other people's bad habits or even their good habits. Okay? Sometimes you just can't do that, man. You have to do what you do what's best for you. I don't really drink that much. I ran nightclubs. That's why I do so good at nightclubs. I don't really drink. I will drink, but I'm not a drinker per se. I can go weeks without having a drink. Don't bother me. So even at my club, they would tell you, if you see Lonzo drinking, either we had a good night or we got company. Simple as that. I'll get a drink from my company. I may be kicking with the fellas, and I'll drink. I'll have something in, but for the most part, it don't excite me. It don't change my life one way or another.
Yep. I can honestly say, Lonzo, you are the same behind the scenes as you are in front of the camera. You don't really turn it up too much. If not, I feel like I'm the same. I may turn it up a little bit more, but I feel like you're pretty same across the board, which is good. I like that.
If I turned it up, my everyday personality.
Your everyday personality is turned up. Exactly.
Okay. If I do anything else, I'm gonna be fraudulent. Okay. I ain't never been no fraudulent ass dude, man. That ain't never been me. If you don't like it, fine. If you do, and we can rock. But if not, fuck it.
Yep. Facts. Man, this hour just flew by. Before we head out, guys, I want to ask everybody to hit that like button once again. Smash that like button before you go, and definitely hit that subscribe button. What's coming up next, Lonzo?
Oh man, we doing a big thing Friday night at the Compton Hotel. I'm doing a business mixer for my chamber, Compton Entertainment Chamber of Commerce. Just following up the prostate cancer walk. My week has gotten crazy. I didn't realize how busy my ass is that I did the schedule yesterday. I got shit going on. So yeah, doctors, we planning the party for Easy Street. That's my main thing right now, getting that ready to roll. We'll probably do it at the Hollywood. At the Crystal Casino parking lot. Haven't picked a date yet, but I'll know better once I meet with the city folks at the city. My boy Damon at the city of Compton to get the signs and everything. I want to make sure the signs are ordered. Get a crew to put them up, and we party after that, folks.
OG Steve with the last minute donation. Good looking out. He says, Dean Martin, I know this story. Dean Martin back in the day acted like the likable drunk, always sipping out of glass, but in reality, he had juice or iced tea in his cup the whole time. Yeah. I remember hearing that because that's one of my favorite groups.
Yeah, dude, I love Dean Martin, okay? But, dude, you can't function. You can't function high all the time. Some people can, most people can't. And people want you to think that they live this lifestyle. That lifestyle don't work for everybody, man. That lifestyle does not work for everybody, dude. Trust me. Staying high all the time. If you got the money and you got people around you to cover your ass, maybe that can work for you. But when you got something to do, you got kids, houses, responsibility, man, you ain't got time to be out all the damn time. You got to pick you a day or a time when you're gonna do it and clear your calendar, because you know that shit takes a while to get out your system.
Facts. And before we head out, I'm going to remind you guys to check out Lonzo's other show with Dr. Dre, the Dr. Dre from Yo MTV Raps. It's a very entertaining show. I always tune in myself on Fridays, usually at 4 p.m. Pacific. And there's a little bell right next to the like button. If you hit that bell, that gives you the notification whenever Lonzo posts anything. He has a lot of stuff coming up, interviews here and there and stuff like that. So please stay tuned. Anything else, Lonzo, before we head out?
Oh yeah, man. My talent showcase launched on my channel, the Compton Entertainment channel. Last Friday, we uploading a new episode. If you haven't downloaded the Compton Entertainment channel, which is right next to the Compton Entertainment app, then you're gonna miss what's going on. In fact, the Easy Street will be live streamed from the channel as well as the Compton Christmas Parade. So the channel is about to blow up for 2024. Yeah, folks, we got some things cracking. The Compton Entertainment channel. Download the app as well, the Compton Entertainment app, so you can get notifications on your phone when we got something going. All right.
There it is, man. Always a pleasure, dude.
You know how we do it, Doc. For those of you who never heard of me, I'm the first man to put Dr. Dre in the surgery. Put that Ice Cube in the freezer until it got cold on the eve after dark, Center Stage Super Bowl. In the movie Straight Outta Compton, they played me like a hater or rap. Don't believe that bullshit. It was all cap. For most of y'all, my history is deeper than you'll ever know. Just remember that N.W.A. stands for Not Without A.lonzo. Peace, folks.